Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli. Watch the greenbacks
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here, and we're broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. There's a link to all of your instructors on the website, USAPrepares.com. Converging threats are confronted daily by your instructors. I'm Vincent Finelli, and I'm delighted to be broadcasting this hour with Miles from the European Union. Welcome, Miles.
Vincent, good morning, class.
Good morning, Miles. Miles, you're a senior USA Prepares instructor. You are brilliant in so many areas, and today we're going to talk about something that you and I have talked off the air about. You heard me mentioning that we're having an increasing number of failures of hydraulic equipment with rubber parts, hoses, hydraulic cylinders, and tractor tires are aging faster than they should, and tires that, we know how long they should last, roughly over the road type tires on light trucks and cars, they're wearing out faster. Engine temperatures are increasing. We're finding overheating problems. And so I was talking about this, and you're noticing similar things in Europe. Isn't that right?
Wow, yes, we do. It's incredible. The lifespan of tires, how that one is reduced. Hydraulic hoses, the lifetime of them is going down. And of course, bushings and all kinds of rubber parts that have metals attached to it. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm. So, Miles, for those who are listening to this broadcast, they may say, no big deal. I don't have a farm. I don't drive a tractor trailer. I don't operate a forklift. I don't have a company that has this kind of machinery. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is hydraulic equipment is almost everywhere in the supply chain. Literally, if you think about it, these tractor trailers get loaded with forklifts. The forklifts have hydraulic equipment to load and unload the tractor trailers. Hydraulic equipment is used to change your oil. You go to the service station and your car is put up on a lift to repair it. Well, without hydraulics, your car's not going up in the air. I mean, for the most part. So there are so many uses for hydraulic equipment, as well as power steering on a lot of vehicles is hydraulically operated. The braking system on most vehicles is hydraulically operated, and it's everywhere. And we're seeing increasing failure rates. So because of that, we wanted to talk about why this is happening, the phenomena that we see, what we think is causing it, and what to do about it. So, Miles, let's start with this. What happens when heat is applied to these fluids, these hydraulic fluids and motor oils and engine oils and so forth? What happens?
Okay, first off, these hydraulic fluids and engine oils, they expand, and they have a certain operational capacity from a certain low point in cold weather to a certain high point for hot conditions. And the interesting part with that is you can have a oil getting as cold as you want. You can freeze it down. It doesn't hurt it very much. But if you overheat an engine oil, ATF, or hydraulic fluid, for 10 degrees Celsius, that would be 50 degrees Fahrenheit. If you overheat it with only 50 degrees Fahrenheit for a short time, you here now aged the oil by 400%.
So Miles, if we're talking about, let's say we're towing a vehicle with our pickup truck, and we're towing a trailer. Let's say we're towing a trailer with our pickup truck, and we're climbing a hill, and we look and we see the temperature of the on the dashboard that the engine temperature is increasing. It gets to the overheat point. Now we know that, but what we don't know is what's happened to the transmission oil temperature, right? There's typically not a gauge for that in most vehicles.
Not only that there's not a gauge, it's let's go back to the engine oil first. The engine has a certain density under certain pressure. So if you start, if you're towing and you're going uphill and the engine is really huffing and puffing, so you're applying a lot of pressure and friction to that oil when it's hot. So the point of friction is way hotter than with the engine oil than the overall oil temperature. And here is where the oil starts to cracking apart, literally cracking apart. The molecule chains, the carbo acid molecule chains, they start disintegrating from, let's say, optimum 20, 24, 26, 28, something like that. They go downhill. And this cracking, you can see there you can find out when you open up your the oil cap, and you see starting more brownish and blackish stuff like carbonizing and the nitrite being there. This is an indicator that your oil that you're using is underrated for the usage you are having.
So when we unscrew the engine oil cap typically on the valve cover of an automobile or light truck engine, and it looks brownish, then the oil, you're saying, is underrated for the purpose?
In most parts, yes. Especially if you have one of the newer engines, the so-called downsized engines, such as the Ford EcoBoost or the new Chrysler with a low cubic double turbo, one turbo, double turbo, or a blower charging. These oils have to withstand 4,000 times more pressure and heat than with a normal atmospheric car in the year 2000.
So Miles, have you noticed that some oils seem to perform better than other oils in terms of brand?
Well, yes, for sure. And let us go into the anatomy of oils a little later. I would like to go with you over a couple of facts and oil aging and what the succession of oil aging does with your engine or your transmission. And then we can go on to certain on the anatomy, and after that we can present some solutions and for that topic.
Okay.
Is that okay?
All right, let's do that.
Okay, so when you turn on the engine and you go on the highways or you tow, your engine oil is fine if you use it for its specified purpose. Like normal driving, it doesn't hurt the car very much. If you're driving only very short distances, it builds up a lot of moisture in the engine because of the blow-by of the pistons. So here, the oil is oxidizing. The problem with the oxidation is that oil is breaking down with H2O and oxygen as well. So if you're a heavy-duty user and if you are a user that's only driving a little, you have to more frequently exchange the oil. It's very important to do that.
Okay. So you're saying something that a lot of us gearheads have done, many, many years ago. We would change the oil at 3,000 miles, even though the engine or the automobile manufacturer would say every 5,000 miles. And if you look in the manuals of many of the older cars, they would say, well, if you're driving short trips or on dusty conditions, exchange your oil or change your oil, more frequently. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes. But even if you're driving, what I'm witnessing here, I don't know if you can witness that in the States as well. The sun has changed. The sun rays have changed, or our atmosphere has changed, and that's why we're getting little different sun rays here now. amount of infrared radiation that we are having here has increased. So when you drive with your car over a blacktop or asphalt, the reflective heat of the asphalt heats up the pipes and the lines that are mounted on the bottom of the car. Normally they are there that they have the best cooling, but the blacktop is radiating that much heat off that even in these lines, that oil in its return line cannot cool down. It's coming almost with the same temperature to the collection tank or to the sump back as it came back from the differential or from the automatic transmission. It's very interesting. We measured that. It was not a very much difference. It was 30 degrees centigrade difference there only. So even here we have to think about in changing environments that we adjust our habits and our maintenance habits to changing environments in order to have our equipment, our cars, trucks operating longer without a problem. And especially we are here in a mountainish surrounding, so we have the mountain rescue, the firefighters. If we have a failure in our system, there are lives at stake.
Certainly. And for those who are farmers, if you have a hydraulic failure or an oil-related failure, you may not be able to get your product harvested or your produce harvested or your cattle fed or go to market or bale your hay or feed your hay. It's, I can't think of very many operations that we have here on the farm that are not hydraulic fluid related. And we are so dependent on our tractors, our farm tractors, that we even have spare tractors now because we can't afford the absence of the machinery because of the weather. By the way, Miles, I want to share something with you. I called International Lubricants Incorporated. You recommend a product called LubeGuard. Mm-hmm. And so I called them yesterday. And they said that they had they produced a commercial that related to global temperatures increasing, and they got beat up for it.
Wow.
And I said, well, I don't know. Actually, I don't think you want to come on the air with me because, we've got Dane Wigington and we're talking about geoengineering and those kinds of things. So if you're getting beat up, but they've got great products, and I was hoping to get one of their experts on to talk about them. But anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk more about fluids, failures, additives, what to do about this, because this is a real problem. We're not exaggerating. This is real, and it's experienced firsthand in Europe and in the United States. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Identity theft is real. So real, it could be making you its next victim right now. At the gas pump, bank, or store where you shop with your credit card, bad guys with RFID scanners can peer into your wallet or purse from a short distance away, stealing information from your RFID-enabled credit or debit cards, passports, room keys, and ID cards without you even knowing it. Stop the bad guys now with an RFID blocking wallet from ID Stronghold. ID Stronghold, founded created the entire RFID blocking industry over 10 years ago. Their stylish sleeves, clutch purses, and wallets are shielded throughout. The best you can buy at great pricing, as low as $14.99. Don't wait until your wallet needs replacing. Protect your identity now. Click idstronghold.com or call 1-800-610-2770. That's 1-800-610-2770. ID Stronghold, the original RFID wallet company.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Miles, I want to share something with you. Just before the broadcast started, Mrs. Finelli was in the studio with me, and she looked at the atomic clock, and she said, I got to go. I got to go listen to Miles.
So I'm on Operation Temperature now. I had to take care of one thing in the first segment, so I apologize for that. But now I'm getting running here. Hello, Mrs. Finelli. Thank you very much for that. So
no, seriously, that's never happened before. Where she said, "I got to go. I have to listen to this."
Okay, so let's just jump back into the situation. The situation is that we are faced with an environment that is hostile to our fluids. And being hostile to our fluids, it has repercussions for every kind of mechanical component that we have in our vehicles, as well as in airplanes. I wouldn't fly several airlines anymore because of their maintenance habits, as well as I wouldn't buy certain car parts because of their building or remanufacturing habits. I wouldn't just place them into a vehicle that I drive with, or that I set my children and my wife in. I wouldn't do it. It's too dangerous today. So let's go back into the situation. The situation is that with these modern engines, and even with the old engines, we need to find a way for us to create a higher heat exchange rate, and that the oil stays more stable. That the cleaning agents in the oil stay stable and don't disintegrate, that the oil doesn't start gumming up in colder spots there and starts carbonizing or damaging seals, or even damage then through wear and tear the mechanical parts, such as in differentials or in four-wheel drives, not the transmission, but the transfer case, right? So the heat reduction was always created through certain agents in the oil. And on yesterday's shows, I already shared that one of the quality ingredients of an oil is boron as an heat exchanging agent. Very important stuff. you wouldn't believe how much the difference on boron is in certain engine oils as well as in ATFs. It's incredible how they save the boron for more expensive products.
Well, let me give you a very quick example. I have a chart in front of me, and I posted this on the website. It lists the parts per million of boron. And one of the oils that I really like is a product called Chevron Delo, D-E-L-O, number 400 LE. That's the name of the oil, Chevron Delo 400 LE. And it has 557 parts per million of boron. Now, another oil that you might use and I might use would be a mobile product called Delvac. And these are diesel engine oils. Delvac has 73 parts per million of boron, whereas Delo, Chevron's Delo, has 557.
Wow.
You look at Castrol. You know, people would say, Castrol, what a great oil. Castrol GTX diesel has seven parts per million. Then you go to, yeah, and then, yeah.
They need it for advertising.
Right, and then you go to Shell's Rotella, which is considered a great oil. Shell Rotella T5, the letter T, the number 5. It has 22 parts per million. So the winner is clearly Chevron's Delo, which I think has a lower disappearance rate, if you will. I have less oil consumption with Chevron's Delo than some of the other oils. Seriously. And I'm wondering if the boron is the reason for that, because it has more than 5 times more boron than the next closest competitor that I can find.
Yeah, but the boron is not the only important indicator for that. A very important test for fluids, oils that you might require from the manufacturer is the so-called hot tube test. Hot tube test, and the hot tube test simulates the aging of the oil. What they're testing there is the heat reduction reactions, the so-called cracking of the oil. When does it crack, and to what degree does it crack? So I continue after the break.
And Miles, what you're clearly indicating in this broadcast classroom is that oil is not oil. I mean, all oils are not the same, and it's not just the label on the oil package. It's not just the pretty pictures that indicate the best oil. There you go. We'll be right back.
Virtually anyone can hack your cell phone and track your calls, your texts, your emails, your every movement, but only if they can detect a signal. Stay one step ahead of hackers and Big Brother with a Blockit Pocket, a custom-made pocket infused with pure silver that creates a complete Faraday enclosure for your cell phone. For free shipping to the lower 48, visit blockitpocket.com or call 888-315-9618. blockitpocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
We've been patiently waiting while you tried to ignore us, waiting while you acted like we didn't exist, waiting for our chance to be taken seriously. The wait is over. GCN is available 24/7 at GCNlive.com. Navigate through news from your favorite hosts and download archives of past shows. Download the app on your smartphone or tablet, or visit GCNlive.com for instant access and live streaming. GCNlive.com, the future of talk radio, now at your fingertips.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Farmers keep their livestock lean and healthy with a mineral-rich diet. Before market, they cut off minerals, leaving them to crave high-calorie grains. If weight control is this easy, why prescribe surgery for humans? Avoid 900 different diseases by getting 90 essential nutrients. Check out sonsoflibertyteam.com, order your Healthy Start Pack, and get your 90 for life, or call 855-301-TEAM. Essential, not optional. 90 for life at sonsoflibertyteam.com or 855-301-TEAM. That's 855-301-TEAM.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
If you're worried about your health and you're tired of the nasty side effects of harsh drugs or antibiotics, then look no further. Supernatural Silver is the answer. Supernatural Silver is a powerful immune system enhancer that can be used every day to help keep you healthy and well with none of those nasty side effects. It's extremely safe for use internally as well as topically. And Supernatural Silver is hundreds of times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver. It is perfect for use in the sinuses, eyes, ears, and on any wound or skin issue. Supernatural Silver is also extremely effective when taken orally and can help fight off bacteria, viruses, and mold that may be overwhelming your immune system. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, supernaturalsilver.com, and use the promo code SILVER2015 for 30% off of your entire order. And give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
Class, serious topic today. Serious topic. We're talking about fluids, the temperature causing breakdowns and failures, and then the cascading effects of the lubrication-related failures on engines and equipment. And it's a lot of it is because of the heat, and some of it is caused by the absence of the ingredients that are necessary to make oils great and lubricants and fluids great. And they've changed over the years. I'm going to be posting some other resources for you at USA Prepares after this broadcast. So, Miles, we've got the overheating problems. The roads are higher temperature, and it's causing these failures. Do you want to get into what do we do about it?
Well, let me just give you a rundown on the hot tube test and why that is up and why it's important for you as a buyer, as an informed buyer. So the hot tube test gets the oil. They burn the oil in a glass, and then they have it reacting with oxygen and sometimes with water. They do that with ATF as well. So what they want to find out is whether it crystallizes and when it gums up, and whether there's any crystals left that might result to abrasion processes in the engine or in the transmission. So what they're doing after that test, after they really destroy that oil, is they make a so-called gravitational measurement of hexane insoluble residues at 290 degrees Celsius or 554 degrees Fahrenheit. They're measuring the particles that are insoluble then. Mm-hmm. And it's shocking. It's when you should require that hot tube test from the oil company that you want to use, because that gives you the nuts and bolts of the oil.
Mm-hmm. And so you're talking about these the ability to withstand high temperatures, and we think, well, our engine only heated up to 195 degrees because that's what the temperature says on our gauge on our dash, but that's not the temperature at the bearing surface.
Right.
The bearing at the rod bearing or the main bearing or some of the ball bearings or roller bearings in the engines.
Or the piston rings.
Or the piston rings, right.
Very,
very high temperatures.
Yeah. So, and pressure. There you have temperature and pressure. So, the important part that class needs to take out of here is engine never ages linearly. Never ever. It is aging exponentially. If you increase the temperature by only 50 degrees, it ages 400 times. So, normally if you have a 10,000 miles oil changing interval and you just raise the temperature 50 degrees, you overheated 50 degrees, now you have 2,500 miles oil changing interval, period.
Miles, so for our class to put this to practical use, by me changing my thermostat in a Chevy pickup truck, a 2004 pickup truck, from 195 degrees Fahrenheit down to 180 degrees, so I've reduced the operating temperature of the engine 180 degrees. Now there's some disbenefits to doing that, but on the overall, did I do the right thing based on what we're observing with ambient temperatures increasing around the globe?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, there is a huge joke with the entire oils and fluids. It's the so-called lifetime fillings. You have a Mercedes, and, back in beginning 2000 when you bought a Mercedes, it always stated, oh no, you don't need to exchange the ATF and you don't need to exchange the differential oil. That's a lifetime filling. We're so modern, it's a lifetime filling. Well, let me give you a comparison. An oil manufacturer requires every dealer that every kind of oil has a shelf life of 5 years. So the oil is sitting in the canister on the shelf, is doing nothing. And after 5 years, it's bad. It needs to be recycled or just thrown away. So now you're having a car with 5 years operating fluids. Don't you think it's time to exchange all the fluids by then?
Miles, for Christmas, I don't like buying Christmas presents, but I bought our son a dipstick for his transmission because his car, which happens to be a Mercedes, an old Mercedes, did not come with a transmission dipstick because it had lifetime fluid. And I wanted to make sure that we had the ability to change that transmission fluid and check the level of the fluid, because literally the car does not come with a transmission dipstick because allegedly you don't need one because you never change the fluid, which is crazy.
It's the new and improved packaging of oil. And especially with the Mercedeses, they have one weak spot. It's the radiator. They have a combined radiator where the engine coolant and the ATF are going through both. And if they develop microcracks, then you have the situation that glycol goes over to the ATF side and shreds your clutches and plates, steel plates and friction plates in the transmission to heaven.
What is the transmission rebuild cost on a Mercedes?
Well, if you go to your Mercedes dealer, they ask between $4,000 and $8,000. If you I wouldn't have my transmission rebuild by everybody. There's here in Europe only a handful, literally 5 transmission rebuilders that I trust blindly because I know them, I know their facilities, and I know what kind of equipment they have in addition to rebuilding the transmission. In the United States, it's the same situation. If I would be in the situation that I have to rebuild my transmission now in the United States, I would use certain parts as a torque converter, and I would only use certain remanufacturers for having it remanufactured and then installed and having the coolers checked and flushed, but not with a can flush, with a flushing machine, because the can flush doesn't do anything. It doesn't help. There's a certain flushing machine. It's called the hot flusher. You can find them at the webpage hotflusher.com. This is the only machine that has such a high volume stream that you would need 18,000 cans in 1 hour to flush a radiator in comparison to 1 hour hot flush machine.
Okay, that's. I think I've figured out how this works, and it makes absolute sense to me. Kind of like a radiator boiler, if you're going to have a radiator repaired. Miles, so what do we do? What do we do to resolve these problems?
Okay, so the situation is that you can, if you know what kind of oil you're shopping for, what the boron content is, what the copper content is, and the anatomy of oil is that you have 3 packages in an oil or an ATF. The first, and the main ingredient, is so-called base oil. The base oil is the most important part. Here in the European Union, an oil manufacturer can call an oil full synthetic oil if the content of the fully synthetic oil is 17% or more. 17% or more. And then it's fully synthetic. So the higher the fully synthetic package is in the oil, the better it is. Then the second package is the admixture, so-called filler. It's the buffer filler. And nowadays, we in the European Union here have the situation that they're collecting the old oils, they're reconditioning them, they're reboiling them and skimming them after the density, and then they're mixing it into the newer oils as well. That decreases the engine, not the engine, but the oil performance dramatically. And the third package is the additive package, where you have the cleansers, the anti-foaming agents, where you have the heat agents, the stability agents for the oil. And so what I'm shopping for is I'm looking for, number one, the amount of the base oil. How much fully synthetic oil is in there? And I stress the fully synthetic because the not fully synthetic oils are so-called hydrocracked oils. So what they do is they boil up the oil, they crack the carbon acids apart, and then in another process they put them back together. But the binding of these acids of these carbon acids is not that strong. So when you reach a high point or that high friction temperature spot in the engine, they start cracking. And that's where it results, where the carbonizing and the browning up or the gumming up of seals, of rollers, of valve stems, of EGRs. EGRs are gumming up the exhaust recycling valves, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't use HC oils at all because I don't see any benefit in them. These are the oils you find at these cheap lubrication spots. So I don't go there.
Yeah. And Miles, just so our class understands, years ago I know of oil change places that would have a barrel of 55-gallon barrel of, let's say, a name brand oil. And you go, wow, that's great oil. That's expensive oil. Well, what would happen is a lot of these companies, well, some of these companies would buy cheap oil and then they would pour it into the barrel that had, the label of the expensive oil on it. And so even though you thought you were getting the good stuff, you might not be getting the good stuff. It's kind of like when the gas stations would tell the delivery guy with the tanker truck, okay, dump 1,000 gallons of regular gasoline into the premium gasoline tank. And then they would sell 1,000 gallons of regular gasoline at premium prices. So these kinds of things happen. It's fraud. It's deceptive. It's dishonest, but it happens. So the bottom line is you've got to change your own oil. That's all there is to it, right, Miles?
Well, you can change your oil, or you can find somebody who you entrust with that if they do it after your guideline. That's fine. Because I don't care for gummed up or carbonized valves, inlet ports, or valve stems, and with lubrication reduction then, or clogged up exhaust recycling valves, or brownish nitrate buildup in my engine. And especially I don't like if the oil channels that are in the block are clogging up, that the return of the oil doesn't work that good, and the engine then starts burning the oil.
Mm-hmm. Miles, so do you have a brand of automobile engine oil for gasoline engines that you prefer? Would you, when we come back from this break, would you consider sharing with us what your favorite brands are? And I'll share mine as well.
Okay.
Miles from Europe is with us, and we're talking about engine oils and failures and heat and what to do about it. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Now a twice as nice Twin Kit special offer from Complete H2O Minerals for all GCN listeners. Get a Complete H2O Minerals Twin Kit with 33 different minerals, vitamins, and amino acids all in a liquid form. Enough for 2 people for 1 month. Regular price $89.95, but now Complete H2O Minerals is offering the Twin Kit for $69.95. And all GCN listeners receive a bonus 16-ounce bottle of Ionic Silver absolutely free with free shipping. A $120 total value. Hurry, limited time offer. Call 803-794-4767 or click CompleteH2OMinerals.com.
Rflags.com just found out that 49-year-old Anthony Hervey, a black man in Mississippi, he was chased down in his car and killed, apparently for his support of the Confederate flag. This will not stand. Rflags.com now offering 10% of every sale to go to the Hervey family to help them in their time of need. You want to help this family? Go to rflags.com. We'll donate 10% of every sale. Rflags.com. That's rflags.com.
Hi, this is Steve Spillum for Midas Resources. In 1971, President Nixon took the United States off the gold standard and put us into a fiat currency. This allowed Congress and the Federal Reserve to create trillions of dollars out of thin air. The national debt has risen to incredible heights, and your hard-earned dollars by a small fraction of what they once did. The average life expectancy for a fiat currency is 27 years. The dollar is failing and on borrowed time. When currencies fall, people turn to gold and silver because gold and silver have been real money for more than 5,000 years. It is our mission at Midas Resources to help you preserve your capital. Don't let your personal savings shrink to nothing. For important free information on how you can protect your personal wealth, contact me, Steve Spillum, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 308. Call today while we are still accepting dollars for gold and silver. 1-800-686-2237, extension 308. Make a change in your financial security today. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 308.
It's very easy to be a criminal. All you need to burglarize a home is one simple household tool, a pair of scissors. If your home security system can be compromised by a criminal using scissors, then you're making it easy for them. Almost every home security system, even those sold by big-name companies, has a weakness. The phone line. You shell out $1,500, get locked into a long-term contract, and think you're safe. But a burglar can destroy your alarm in seconds with one snip. And when a burglar cuts your phone line, you're defenseless. Simply Safe Home Security is the smarter choice. Built by Harvard engineers, Simply Safe uses a wireless connection to call the cops. Scissors can't cut it. And that means your home stays safe. 24/7 professional monitoring is under $15 a month with no contract. Simply Safe Home Security keeps you safer than the other guys for half the cost. Protect your home with the alarm you can trust. Simply Safe. Go to simplysafedefense.com now for an exclusive 10% offer. That's simplysafedefense.com.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey guy.
Miles is with us, and so Miles, you've had plenty of experience with engine oils, fluids, lubricants. And what do you like best, if you're willing to share that with us, for the typical gasoline engine? You have a vehicle that you drive that is gasoline powered. It's pretty much the same vehicle I have, same year, and everything. What do you like for that particular gasoline powered engine? Did we lose Miles?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Mm-hmm.
I was muted. I apologize. So what we are using in our fleets here, as well as I do on my car, is I use Mobile One. And I use the old style Mobile One, 0W40 as the engine oil, because it has the most reliable and highest amount of synthetic oil in it. And what I do is I upgrade every fluid with LubeGuard products. We do that with tractors, with semis, with transporters, with heavy gear as well, in order to control the heat development in these engines for summer and for winter temperatures. So that's what we're using as engine oil and for upgrading the oil. LubeGuard polarizes the oil or the fluid, so all metal surfaces are covered. And it increases the cleansing of the cleansing capabilities of the oil itself. So this is where we go there. It is not a normal additive. It works in the base package of the oil and changes the synthetic oil to a longer carbon acid chain, as well as it polarizes it to a positive charge. So that's what we're using here overall. As an ATF, we use Fuchs, Fuchs. You can get it in the United States as well. This is the OEM setup for Mercedes. Fuchs Titan oils and differential oils.
Okay. Miles, have you read, many years ago that, the major oil manufacturers know best. Do not add any additives to your engine oil. I mean, I remember reading that back in the 1960s and the 1970s. Now, things have changed since then. We have tighter tolerances on our engines. Our engines are running hotter. They're more stressed. They make more horsepower per cubic inch or per liter of displacement. We have turbochargers that are, more standard, that increase the oil temperatures that need to be cooled, and a lot of them, a turbocharger may spin at 100,000 revolutions per minute. These are pretty, the demands on the engine are so much.
950 degrees on the backside of the turbo is a date I can tell you. We measured it. So you have oil going through that turbocharger, and this is the point where the oil has to perform at its best. And they break apart. They clog up the line. So that's why I partially share the OEM side, not using additives, because there's two possibilities of using additives. One is the coating of the engine and the lines with graphite, MOS2, heavy PTFE, what would be Teflon or nanoparticulate ceramic. And that can create cavitation on the cooling side, on the coolant side, and that's why you see these defects in the metal. These are cavitation. They explode on the water that are imploding water bubbles that are damaging the metal. I don't like that as well. So that's why I advocate for LoopGuard for almost all their products, because they are not working as an additive. They are changing the base oil to a better oil. They make a bad oil better.
Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, there are recommendations of oils not to use. And that was on the post that we put on our website. So there are brands that an engineering site has said, do not use these brands of oils. And if you want to find them, they're on usapreparedness.com. Wow, Miles, that went really fast. We're going to have to, this was... We have to do this again and again. I don't think we can get this done in less than 5 classes. Seriously.
Let's do it.
Miles, thanks so much for being with us. By the way, I use that exact same product you do, Mobile One 0W40. It's a European type oil, and it really works great. Same oil I use, and you can get it for about, let's say $22 to $24 for 5 quarts. Thanks again, Miles.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free tactical scarf for a limited time with any body armor package. That's CATIarmor.com. Come and take it.
Healthy, organic, fresh fish, robust, mouth-watering vegetables, all from your home. It's called aquaponics. This brilliant, self-sustaining protein and veggie system is perfect for year-round growing. Know exactly where your food is coming from. Aquaponicssource.com is the one-stop shop for all your needs. Fish, fish food, plumbing, full systems, classes, and more. Learn to build your own system. Go to aquaponicssource.com for a free guide to aquaponics. That's aquaponicssource.com.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise at gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com Katie Singer's with us, and I'm delighted to be broadcasting with Katie Singer. We're going to be talking about the challenges we face as parents of our children. We're going to be talking about fertility. We're going to be talking about protecting ourselves, and how do you do it? If you have children, how do you protect them from electromagnetic radiation, GMO foods? What a task we now have as parents, because your children may be going to school, and they serve this stuff at the cafeterias. They're surrounded by electromagnetic radiation. Your children may have friends, and they may have all of these electronic devices, and their mom may make, cookies or something with these GMO ingredients. Welcome, Katie Singer.
Hello, Vincent.
Katie, it's great to be broadcasting with you. You're an author. You've written several books. One of them is called an electronic silent spring, and you talk about electromagnetic radiation. And I read the book, and it was the deciding factor, the thing that made me immediately say, that's it. This iPhone is out of here. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. And so reading your book did that. And I believe that I wrote something like this on Amazon.com as a review of your book, that if you read a few minutes of this book, your last cell phone call will be your last cell phone call. And that's what it was for me. So I dumped my cell phone as a result of it. And you have another book called Honoring Our Cycles. Honoring Our Cycles, CYCLES, on Amazon.com. And it's about natural family planning. It's a workbook, right?
Yes.
Okay. Katie, what are we going to do? I started talking about this problem at the beginning of the broadcast. So let's say our son, let's say we have a 10-year-old, and he's in school. And so he's on the bus, and the bus driver has a cell phone, and other students on the bus have their cell phones. Why? Well, they're high school students on the bus, and they're elementary school students on the bus, and to keep everybody safe, they all have these cell phones, or most have cell phones. So now we have this microwave oven container, which is the school bus. It's a steel box with some glass windows, but for the most part, most of it is metal, and we've got all these cell phones cooking our children in it. And the children get off the bus and they go into the hallway, and there are these access points that allow these electronic devices to communicate with each other. And then we have all these computers, and then we have the teachers with the cell phones.
So let me come in here, Vincent,
yeah.
and say everything you're saying is completely true. This is reality now in 2015, and as far as I can tell, every parent I meet wants to be a good parent, and they want to protect their children, and they want healthy children, and they want their own lives to be healthy and, for them to last at least until their children are fully grown adults, to get them on their way. And I think all of us are facing questions now that no previous generation has had to face. So we do have to, how do we protect our children and ourselves from electromagnetic radiation, from all these electronics, and at the same time function in society? How do we protect ourselves from GMOs and function in society? How do we protect ourselves from living near fracking situations? There are just so many situations that none of us had education or training to deal with. And I'm very sobered by these questions. How do we protect ourselves? How do we protect our children? It's really pretty out of control. I begin by looking at what's in my own home environment, because that is something I can take steps to act on. And I've shared so many times before step one is to turn the Wi-Fi router off at night for at least 12 hours while you're sleeping. And then also you can make a decision not to use your phone in the car. Keep your phone in, at least in airplane mode, or take the battery out of it while you're in a car, and just don't use any mobile device while you're driving. The reason is because at every mile while your phone or mobile device connects to a new cell tower, it's going to go to maximum power. And as you explained, you're in a metal box, and so much of the radiation is going to be trapped there inside with you and your children. That's not good. So step one, turn the Wi-Fi router off at night while you're sleeping until you get corded internet access. And step two, don't use in a moving metal box. These are things that people can do in their own homes. That's where I begin to focus. And then I'd like to share some studies that I have not shared with listeners before about reproductive health and how exposure to everything from television, the light from a television, the light from street lights, all of those things can affect reproductive health. And I know we're getting close to a break, but that's what I would love to share with people, and then again say things that individuals can make decisions about and can take actions starting now to reduce their exposure and protect themselves and their families.
I was in the truck yesterday afternoon with Mrs. Finelli, and I said to her, I was talking with Katie, and we're talking about, what do you do with your children who are in school, and how do you protect them? And I said, I told her that you and I were chatting off the air, and I said, well, it's easy. You just, pull them out of school, you homeschool them, but, you start your own business, and now you're home with them, and you use, wired devices, and so now you have a home-based business. Your children are home with you, and I said, but you know what? Katie and I talked about it. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody's in a position to do that. Not everybody is willing to do that. And then of course you have those people who say, well, what about, the socialization of your children? How the heck can you, prepare them for the real world if you take them out of the real world? Well, the real world is dangerous. And what we had chosen to do, and I mentioned this to you, is we realized how dangerous school was. I mean, even from the toxins, Katie, even from the desks, and over the weekend, their children have lice in the public schools. So what they do, they fumigate the classrooms. And
the thing is, Vincent, that I know families who do homeschool, and both parents are at home, and they might be farming or having jobs that allow them to spend a lot of time at home, and they still have massive problems. They don't have control over so many things like smart meters. I mean, if you're going to live in society, you're going to be exposed to them. They can
got to get away from it.
Well, they can transmit for at least a half a mile, and I just don't know that many people who can find a place, let alone afford it, where they're going to be further than a half mile from any person. And cell towers can transmit for 75 miles or more. And I, again, don't know many people who could afford to find a place and live there. And even if they do, it's not going to be long before, broadband over power lines get installed in rural areas and all that stuff. So I think we just have to be realistic that we don't have a lot of control here. The control we do have is within our own homes. And sometimes that's also limited. I certainly know of areas around the country where you can no longer get landlines. And that's, what do you keep doing? You can move, and then you can find the same situation repeating itself. I've heard of those kinds of stories. So I just have a lot of sympathy for all of us, including myself, as we try to create environments for ourselves and our families where, we're getting exposure to the Earth's electromagnetic fields rather than man-made electromagnetic fields. And I am going to dare to say that I think it's really not very possible to have a totally clean environment anymore. And so, okay, that's the reality, but we can reduce our exposure. And that's what I'm interested in focusing on.
Okay. And that's what we've done. We moved away from, the substations, the electrical substations, miles and miles and miles away from us by design. We moved away from cell towers until they put one up, a couple miles away. But we don't get cell reception here at the farm very well, which is wonderful. And I think that's a good thing. So if you look at your cell phone and you go, geez, not much cell reception here, that's a good thing. But, then you're right. We do have the smart meters, and I'm going to take care of that too. I really am.
Well, but then see, if you go to solar power, you're still going to have to deal with the inverter and the net meter. You're going to have to make choices. Are you going to stay in alternating current? That's going to be a problem. Or are you going to go to
mostly DC? Mostly direct current is the plan. As a matter of fact, Katie, I mentioned I was in the truck with Mrs. Finelli. We were buying the supplies to mount the solar panels on the roof of the barn. That's where we were going yesterday when we were talking about Katie Singer. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free tactical scarf for a limited time with any body armor package. That's CATIarmor.com. Come and take it.
We are a survival company. We manufacture our own line of level 3 and level 3A body armor. We proudly make our armor 100% in America. We have the best prices in the nation, about $125 cheaper than our nearest competitor. All lab certified, for thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3. We are Fortress Survival LLC.com.
Class, just a reminder, meet up on Monday at Jimmy's Egg in Springfield, Missouri. And that's where we hang out every Monday. And I missed last Monday's meetup, but Janet Randall and Marcia were there, and they took over and ran the meetup for us, and I think that's wonderful. I want to thank them so much for doing that, and long-time meetup participants. And it's really wonderful having a group of people who can just take over if you can't make it. And I couldn't make it because we had hydraulic failures here at the farm, and I needed to get the hay done. So the hay's all done. It's all done. I just need to move it all out of the fields and bring it and put it in the barns. Other than that, the hay is done. So, Katie Singer, we're talking about what do we do? You know, how do we handle minimizing in our own homes the electromagnetic radiation and the GMOs, and what about our children? And, you know, they go visit friends' houses. And so, you know, we talked about shutting off the Wi-Fi, shutting off the circuit breakers that power the bedrooms, you know, so that we don't have the electromagnetic radiation and the frequencies coming from the wires right near our heads when we go to sleep, right behind our headboards. We talked about how to do that on previous broadcasts. Please continue.
I want to look at reproductive health, and it's just a major indicator, certainly of overall health, but, you know, we all care about having healthy children. And one of the, so I have written these books on natural family planning, including honoring our cycles. And one of the things I started learning about is that, in 2007, the biologist Sandra Steingraber wrote a paper about the falling age of puberty in United States girls. So girls are now starting to menstruate at earlier and earlier ages. And one of the things she wrote is that one of the causes appears to be girls watching television. And one of the things that happens, I was so interested in that. The light from the television set, as well as just plain old sitting, and then the exposure of electromagnetic radiation, those three things can all impact our health. And people know that factory farm chickens are exposed to light 24/7. And that makes the chickens produce more eggs more quickly and die more quickly. And that's because light affects our hormonal sequencing. And I'm trying to say so many things here. I also wrote in my books that if you sleep exposed to light, that means light from a television or a night lamp or an alarm clock or a street lamp. All of those sources of light will affect your hormonal sequencing. And that doesn't matter, you know, if you're male or female, you're going to be affected. So we need to sleep in darkness. And by darkness, I would define that as when you turn out the light, say 10 minutes after you turn out the light, you should not be able to see your hand in front of your face. that's healthy darkness while you sleep. And the light is a kind of electromagnetic energy, and we're not even talking yet about the radiation, but it affects us hormonally. So, okay, no television on while you sleep. In my dream world, you'll have it unplugged, not just turned off. And that's a really great other technique. No TV while you sleep. Ideally, no TV for the 2 hours before you go to sleep and before your children go to sleep. I can share some other... Yeah, go ahead.
You realize that so many people go to sleep with the television on. It's now almost normal, or considered normal. No, I don't. But many people do. And many people will say, well, I need the noise. I need the background noise. I can't go to sleep without it. Seriously.
So we have to begin to train ourselves to sleep without the TV and without light.
Mm-hmm. And we do here at the farm. We do. Katie Singer. And I will be right back. And if you'd like to go to the website, you'll be able to find on page 1 a link to Honoring Our Cycles, Natural Family Planning. We'll be right back.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
We are a survival company. We manufacture our own line of Level 3 and Level 3A body armor. We proudly make our armor 100% in America. We have the best prices in the nation, about $125 cheaper than our nearest competitor. All lab certified, for thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3. We are Fortress Survival LLC.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendovite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendovite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years, and Extendovite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendovite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendovite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Everyone says or does something silly once in a while. Even very smart, very accomplished people. It's part of being human. A quote taken out of context, a legal problem, an unfortunate photograph. Once that embarrassing thing is on the internet, it can spread like a terrible rash because people love to dig up dirt, even when it's not real dirt. Put it to rest. Call for a free expert analysis today from Reputation.com. It only takes 30 seconds. 800-831-0771. Businesses, public figures, and professionals turn to Reputation.com for good reason. We protect your online image by helping make sure that when people search for you or your business, they find the most current, accurate information possible. Reputation.com, because word travels fast. Learn more about what the experts at Reputation.com can do for you. Call for a free analysis today. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
Usually, the older one gets, the less you are able to absorb amino acids and the less you are able to repair the 100 trillion cells of your body. As a result, you'll have less energy, your tissues will shrink, and you'll become wrinkled. An older person will typically injure more easily and heal more slowly. Not fun. However, if you could consume a protein powder that is easier to absorb, then you may be able to gain back some strength, muscle, and speed of recovery. One World Whey is a highly digestible whey protein powder that may be the perfect answer for you.
My name is Errol. I'm 74 years old. You know, the taste of One World Whey is amazing. I play pickleball, and since taking One World Whey and your trace mineral supplement, I have more energy and recover faster from my working out. I used to take another grass-fed whey protein powder, but now I'm getting much better results using One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com.
Katie Singer's with us, class, and her book, Electronic Silence Spring, and another book, Honoring Our Cycles, and they're available at Amazon.com. Katie, we're talking about early onset puberty, and we know that there are hormones in our food, hormones in chickens to make them grow quickly, and then you can have a fully developed chicken ready for slaughter in 49 days. That's 7 weeks. And we eat the chickens, and we know that there's a link between young girls reaching puberty very quickly. The more chickens they eat, the sooner they seem to reach puberty. And then the chicken manure. The chicken manure is, it used to be a problem. Like, what do we do with it? Well, farmers spread that on their fields and their hay fields, and it makes the grass grow really well. And then the cows eat the grass. And then, and then we eat the cows. So I think there's a link between the hormones that the chickens get and our meat's food supply, as well as chickens and whatever else we eat that we fertilize with chicken manure. So and then we have the electronics that you're talking about. It's a huge problem.
Let me go back and talk about, I want to stay with what people can do. And let's talk about the cell phone thing, because we've got a lot of studies that, like more than a dozen studies, that show how sperm quality and motility are affected when men wear a cell phone, a pager, any kind of electronic device like that on their belt or in a pants pocket. Basically, sperm motility and the numbers and their viability are all impaired. And nobody you don't want to mess with sperm, because we need that to have healthy children. I'm not aware of studies about how eggs are affected when teenage girls or women wear cell phones in their pants pockets. It's harder to get samples of eggs than it is of sperm. But we do have increasing studies that show that when girls wear cell phones in their bras, or when women do that, they are much more likely to get breast cancer. So, we don't want to be messing with reproductive organs or our health. So don't keep the phones in your pants pocket. You've got to learn to keep the phone off as much as possible and to think of it as an emergency device. It's not there for constant exposure. That's not healthy. I have another study that I find really sobering. Some scientists exposed mice to radio frequency radiation from cell towers. This was less than 1 microwatt per centimeter squared. And after 5 generations of exposing mice to cell tower radiation, the mice became irreversibly sterile. So that's really scary. If we are, say, that would make us maybe 3 or 4 generations away from total sterility, irreversible sterility for living near cell towers. And I need to say, okay, if you've got a cell phone and you say, that's my personal choice, that may be true. But because the cell phone requires a cell tower, that means somebody's got to live near the cell tower. And usually we need cell towers about a mile apart in order to keep the network running. So just learn to use your phone less. And you don't have to do a Vincent Finelli, or you might try. I actually shouldn't say that. I should say, go ahead and do the Vincent Finelli and quit the cell phone altogether. That's fantastic. But you can begin by not using it in a car. You can begin by turning your Wi-Fi off at night. Don't keep it in your pants pocket. Those are some things people can start with.
Katie, I was in the truck going to Illinois last weekend to a conference, and there was a farm that had a small billboard that this farmer erected on his farm that said the equivalent of "locate your cell tower here." He was advertising for a wireless cell phone company to build their tower on his farm. Literally.
And see, I think that indicates for me that people simply do not know the dangers. And so it just, that's why anyone who is aware of the dangers, I think, has to begin to learn how to talk about this with our family, with our neighbors, with our friends, with our school personnel. How do we talk about this so that we don't freak people out, we don't push them away, but we invite conversation and say, we've saturated our environment here, but we haven't really looked at the health effects. We're using this stuff before recognizing that it causes harm. We've got thousands of studies that show the harm that this stuff causes, and we're still using it. What do we do? And that's, again, where I'm going to say I feel like, a broken record or a nerd saying, do what you can in your own home. Do what you can with your own person. And I think, let me share this wonderful doctor, Victoria Dunkley. She's a child psychiatrist, and she's got so many children coming to her office with autism, ADHD, and even psychosis. And what she's learned is that she needs the children to go on a 3 or 4 week electronic fast, and then and only then can she give them a proper diagnosis. In some cases, the problems go away completely during the electronic fast. But in other cases, the problems ease up, and then she can see what's really going on, and she can begin to help them. After the fast, she suggests that parents slowly reintroduce electronics, and then they can find out, okay, once my kid has more than a half hour per day of, screen time, then the behavior and the sleep problems go over the top. So no more than a half hour for my kid. But you've got to do the fast before in order to find out what your child's limits are. Her book is called Reset Your Child's Brain, and it just came out this week. Victoria Dunkley, Reset Your Child's Brain. I think it's a wonderful technique that anyone can try.
Katie, I have a feeling that if we as parents try that, we will find that our children will revolt. And that's okay. It's okay. But I can just hear it in my mind right now. You know, children saying that they hate their parents. Other children, you know, all my friends have these electronic devices, and you're being mean to me, and I hate living here. I mean, I can
and that's
just
why I
hear
think
this.
it's going to be really clear that the parent and the child are going to need to say, okay, we've got a problem here. So, for example, if the child doesn't sleep and screams during the night for hours at a time, I've certainly heard stories about this, very common now, then the parent and the child are both going to have to say, we've got a problem. It might, let's do what we can. We can handle this for 3 or 4 weeks. And I think it would also be valuable if the parent says, you know what, I'm going to join you in this fast. I'm going to do what I can not to use electronics myself. And if people are pushed up against the wall enough, like if they're not sleeping in the household, if children are banging their heads against walls, those kinds of things, people might take these steps. But you can also take the step if you're not that far along and just see what your own limits are. I would say anyone who's not slept well for one night is usually pretty ready to say, it's just not fun having a day when you didn't sleep well the night before. And if this might help sleep, I'd say it's worth giving a try for, doing the experiment for 2 weeks. Just doing one thing, eliminating the Wi-Fi while you sleep. If you want to go to 2 things, no mobile devices in the car. If you want to go to 3 things, quit the decked cordless telephones, those landline telephones. Those are like having cell towers right in your house. Get a corded landline telephone as long as you can do that.
Katie, are you communicating on this broadcast right now, this very second, via a corded telephone?
That's all I've got in my house. I do not have any wireless devices.
Mm-hmm. Katie, I remember being in some meetings back in the 1980s when I had a job. And these, when I decided that I would attend some of these corporate meetings that I was required to attend, sometimes I'd show up. And we would sit around and there'd be some important topic that we'd be discussing in one of these conference rooms. And one guy would walk in late. And everybody would look up and say, hey, the meeting started on time. You're late. You're wasting everybody's time. Next time, be here on time. Now let's fast forward to today. So now we're in that same conference room, and let's say everybody does show up on time, and people are looking at their phones. They're distracted by their phones. They're distracted because they're addicted to their phones. This is an electronic addiction. So we're going to be, I'm not saying that don't do what you're saying. I'm in total agreement. We need to fast. We need to have this electronic fast. But there's an addiction, and I say just cut the cord cold turkey the way Vin Finelli did. Literally, cold turkey. That's it. Get rid of that phone. And I'm not kidding. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Rflags.com just found out that 49-year-old Anthony Hervey, a black man in Mississippi, he was chased down in his car and killed, apparently for his support of the Confederate flag. This will not stand. Ourflags.com now offering 10% of every sale to go to the Hervey family to help them in their time of need. You want to help this family? Go to ourflags.com. We'll donate 10% of every sale. Ourflags.com. That's ourflags.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
You have all seen and heard about the elements of the periodic table. These elements are the building blocks of everything in the universe. You, my friends, are made from these elements. A shortage of any of these important trace elements can lead to disease. Go with the science and take the Lady Talk Health Challenge and get all 90 essential trace elements with a healthy start pack at LadyTalkLive.com. Or call 855-333-LADY. That's 855-333-5239.
Research shows it's not just what you put in your body that counts, it's what you put on it as well. Why not use an all-natural, healthy mineral-based makeup that actually benefits your skin? Once you experience the airiness and flawless coverage of Longevity mineral makeup, you will never use anything else. With Longevity, the perception of your complexion will be natural perfection. Animal-friendly mineral makeup at Mary Lou Health. That's MARILU Health.com. Or call 855-321-HEALTH.
At 30dayfoodsupply.com, two of our top priorities are providing quality food at a reasonable price and protecting your security. When you call 800-700-2184, we will never record your phone call and never ask for your personal information, like how much food you have stored or where you keep it. We'll also never store your credit card information and email address on a computer. Your email address will never be shared or sold. We'll never limit the number of boxes you can purchase. We'll never use outside packers or use relabeled food from another company. Our meals are naturally high in fiber, carbs, and protein, and everything is packed with oxygen absorbers and Mylar pouches under our direct supervision at our plant in Oregon. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low by buying directly from their producers in Oregon and then passing the savings on to you. Call 800-700-2184 and purchase our 30-day 90-serving emergency food supply for only $99, and $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit our website, 30dayfoodsupply.com, or call 800-700-2184. That's 30dayfoodsupply.com at 800-700-2184.
Gold isn't for you? Ted Anderson, president of Midas Resources, one of the world's premier gold and precious metal investing firms. I get it. You wouldn't buy gold if you believed that the government is doing a great job, that the Fed will stop handing out trillions of dollars like bailout candy, that Social Security would be there for you. That's not what's happening. You might even pass on gold if the stimulus package wouldn't fuel inflation, or that the dollar wouldn't lose value, or that your retirement would be secure. If all looks rosy to you, then now is not the time to buy gold. For the realist, there have never been more sobering reasons to diversify with gold. Since 2001, the U.S. dollar index has tanked 30% while gold has risen 300%. Right now, savvy investors are adding gold to their portfolios. You should too. Find out what they know. Call us and I'll send you 10 reasons why gold will do very well. Free. 800-686-2237. 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Class, Katie Singer's with us, and I'm at our website, electronicsilentspring.com. electronicsilentspring.com. Katie, you have on page 1 a statement that says 1 in 42 boys now has autism. And here's where I'm going with this. You and I talked about what do we do and how do we convince our schools to stop this proliferation and reduce the deployment of these electronic devices that have radio frequencies and electromagnetic radiation that's harming our children. And I believe you said to me something like this, that people who discuss these kinds of things are told by the administration of schools, if you continue to discuss this, you're not welcome here. Is that true?
In some cases, that is true.
Okay. So now we have...
Well, here's again where I'm going to go with this. this is happening all over the world. There are some countries like France that are taking steps to say no cell phones on the playground. They are eliminating wireless internet access in their libraries. In Taiwan, anyone who shows a child under 2 any kind of screen will be fined the equivalent of $2,000. So there are countries that are taking steps like this. In this country, people simply are not yet informed. And I also think people are scared. So that means to me that people who do talk about this have to be really gentle, and I'm going to say humble, even though this is such a charged issue. And how, but the way that we talk about it is as important as the message itself. And that is not easy. And again, going back to how you started the beginning of the hour, with what parents are required to know now in order to protect their children, it's massive. This is new to people on planet Earth. And so it is in terms of talking about this stuff. So we can invite discussion. We can say, I've got concerns. I'd like to share what I've got, and I'd like to have a meeting about this. And people may say, no, it's not relevant to us. And then the parent is just going to have to find other parents to connect with. They're going to have to find some sympathetic teacher and go slowly. This is not going to change quickly. And I'm afraid that, people are going to be harmed. But then again, I'm going to say, do what you can in your own home. And if the parents can reduce their exposure as well, their use of electronics as well, that's a great model for children and for other people in our communities.
Katie, I'm trying to figure out, as I'm listening to you say this, how the school system employees are not domestic terrorists. And what I mean by that is,
know, Vincent.
Well, see, I think they do know. I think some of them do know. As a matter of fact, the engineers know, because the engineers say, boy, that's a real problem. I can't get the signal to go around that corner. We've got to amp up the power of these signals within the school system to get around those barriers.
Okay, wait. I want to stop there. That's a really cool observation that engineers want stronger power in order for the technology to work more efficiently.
Right.
So people are aware they're generating more power. I get that. They are not aware that power causes biological harm.
Wait a minute. There are there are biology teachers in schools. There are physics teachers in schools.
They may not be in agreement with what you and I are saying right now.
Katie Singer's with us, and if you'd like to go to our website, electronicsilentspring.com. electronicsilentspring.com. And we're trying to tell you that you can live with less electronics. We really are. Katie, thanks so much for being with us. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. Meet up on Monday. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship USAPrepares.com. Pro Pure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockItPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
We are a survival company. We manufacture our own line of Level 3 and Level 3A body armor. We proudly make our armor 100% in America. We have the best prices in the nation, about $125 cheaper than our nearest competitor. All lab certified, for thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3. We are Fortress Survival LLC.com.